Hi everyone, welcome you all. In the today's video, we're going to continue about Lambda expressions. In our previous video, we have learned about what is Lambda expression and how to write different ways of Lambda expressions. And also we have seen how to invoke the Lambda expressions by using functional interface. So we have learned about a concept called functional interface. So without functional interface, we cannot write a Lambda expression and we cannot invoke the Lambda expression without using functional interface. Okay, so that is a thing we have discussed in our previous video. Now, today what I'm going to show you is, suppose sometimes when you write your Java coding on day-to-day basis or in the regular coding perspective, you may not have functional interfaces most of the times. Okay, you may not define the function interfaces. Unless you have a functional interfaces, you cannot write the Lambda expressions. So without using functional interfaces also, without having functional interfaces in your coding also, we can still write a Lambda expressions and we can invoke them. So how it is possible? So to make it happen, so Java 8 is already provided some kind of predefined functional interfaces. So we already learned about what is functional interface. The functional interface means which contains a single abstract method, that is called a functional interface. If any interface contains single abstract method, which is called as a functional interface. So we have in Java 8 we have a different type of functional interfaces. They are predefined interfaces we have. And by using those predefined interfaces, we can write a Lambda expression on day-to-day basis in our regular coding and we can invoke them. So let us see what are those predefined interfaces we have, predefined functional interfaces we have. Let me list out here. So I'll say predefined functional interfaces. So predefined functional interfaces. So what are those predefined functional interface? As I said, what is the use of predefined functional interfaces? By using these interfaces, we can write a Lambda expression in regular coding. So you may not have functional interfaces in your coding on day-to-day basis, sometimes when you're writing your programs. But even though you don't have any functional interfaces in your coding, still you can write your Lambda expressions that can invoke them by using these predefined functional interfaces. Now, what are those predefined functional interfaces we have in Java? So these interfaces again introduced in Java 8 itself. Now, what are those predefined functional interfaces? The first interface we have is predicate. So the first interface we have is predicate. The second interface we have is function. The second interface is function. And the third interface we have is consumer. The third interface we have is consumer. And the fourth interface we have is supplier. Okay, supplier. So this is one more interface. So these are the four interfaces which are provided in Java called as predefined functional interfaces. So functional interfaces means these interfaces should have one abstract method, Then only we can call them as a functional interfaces. So these interfaces already there in Java, and in which package we can access all these interfaces? We have one package called java.util.function. Okay, util.function. So in this particular package, we all have these predefined function interfaces. So by using these predefined functional interfaces, we can invoke the Lambda expressions in regular day coding. Okay, so in the today's session, mainly I'll focus on predicate. So this is the interface I'm going to talk about, and rest of them we will discuss in another videos. So let us try to focus on predicate interface, which is a predefined functional interface which is provided in Java itself. And by using this predicate interface, we can invoke the Lambda expressions. Okay, now let us more discuss about predicate. So predicate is one of the predefined functional interface in Java, so which is available in java.util.function package. So all the predefined interfaces we can access from the same package. Now let us discuss about predicate predefined functional interface. What is the use of predicate predefined function interface? So when we need to use this one? So basically, as I said, predicate is an interface, functional interface which contains only one single abstract method, So the method name is test. So this is the only single abstract method this interface is having. So when I say test, so test is a abstract method. As I say, interface contains abstract method. So functional interface especially contains only one abstract method. So internally, this particular interface is designed like this. So the prototype of this interface is, I'll say interface right? Predicate, it will take some t as an argument, type is an argument. Inside this particular method is available. So public, and this is a basically predicate, which is a abstract method. So public abstract, and this particular method test is a method which will return a boolean value, boolean test. Okay, so this is an abstract method which is already implemented. This is basically abstract method, we don't have an implementation here. It will just return a boolean value. So this is abstract method which is designed inside the predicate interface. Okay, so let me repeat once again. So predicate is a predefined functional interface in Java. So by using this predicate interface, we can invoke the Lambda expressions. So the predicate interface contains one single abstract method which is called as a test. The name of the function is a test. Name of the method itself is a test. And the test method will always take one argument, single parameter will be accepted, and always we return a boolean value, whether it return true or false. Okay, so that is the reason we always use this predicate interface, okay, and to check certain conditions. Okay, whenever you check certain conditions in our Lambda expressions, we use this particular predicate interface. So predicate is a predefined interface in Java which contains a single abstract method, that is public abstract boolean left. So this is a declaration, actually the predefined interface predicate, which is a declaration. So this is the prototype of this predicate interface. Okay, so we have to use this particular interface, predicate interface, and then we can write our own Lambda expressions, and we can invoke our own Lambda expressions by using this particular interface. So when we have to go with this interface is this, we have to go for whenever you have a conditional checks in your program. Sometimes normally we use if else conditions, right, when you do some validations, and in those cases you can prefer to use predicate. So remember, the predicate, the test method always take one argument. It can be any type of argument, it can be integer, float, or any object as an argument, which will also return a boolean value, either true or false. Okay, remember this. Now by using this predicate method, we can invoke the different type of Lambda expressions. And when we have to prefer this, if you have conditional checks in your code, whenever you want to check certain conditions, then we can prefer and we can go with the predicate. So by using this, we can invoke the Lambda expression. Apart from this predicate, we have also function and supplier, consumer, all these things. We will discuss them in the next video. So now we will see some practical examples how we can use this predicate interface along with the test method to write the Lambda expressions and to invoke different type of Lambda expressions. Okay, now let's move on to the coding part. Alright, so now we will see how we can use predicate interface along with the test method to invoke the Lambda expressions. So as we discussed earlier, so predicate is an interface. So if I just like a prototype of this interface, it will be like this: interface, and name of the interface, I'll say predicate, and which will take any type. And then inside the interface, there is only one method we have, which is abstract method. The name of the method is test, public, and I'll say boolean. Test is a method, and this method also take one argument, only single argument, any type. I'll say t. So this is abstract method we have. So abstract keyword we don't need to write. By default, when I create a method in the interface, which will take is an abstract method when I say abstract. So this is actual definition of the predicate, which is a predefined functional interface which contains only one single method, which is called as a test, which will take some argument and also return only boolean value. Okay, so we need to use this particular interface. We use interface to write our own Lambda expression, and also we can invoke the Lambda expression through this test method. All right, so I'll show you one example. Let's go to our Eclipse, and we already created one project called Lambda expression. And inside this SRC package, I'm creating a new package. Okay, I'll name it as predicates and say finish. So now I created a new package called predicates. Now inside this, I'm just creating a new class. So as I already told you, the predicate is a predefined function interface which is already there in Java. So let me just directly create a new class. Let's say demo1. Take this main method. Now here I want to write some small piece of code. So what I want to do is I want to pass one parameter to the method, and that particular method should return the number is greater than 10 or not. That means the method should return either true or false. So I want to write a Lambda expression. So by using a predicate. So as I said, predicate is a predefined interface. So let me just directly write like this. I'll say predicate, which will take, here I'll define the type. So let me just take a number I'm taking. So I'm just saying integer. As I said, what is the definition of the predicate, which will take one type, right, as an argument. So we are specifying one type, and then I'll create one variable called p. And here I'll write lambda expression directly. So what I'm going to do is I'll take one variable, and this is the argument variable, and a symbol of lambda expression. And inside this, I'm writing something called I greater than 10. Okay, I greater than 10. So this is a simple lambda expression we have written. So let us try to understand this lambda expression. So I is a one parameter. I'm passing single parameter or argument. Now inside this lambda expression, what I have done is I greater than 10. So I have not put any return statement and no curly braces, because only one statement I have. So what this statement will do is, which will return either true or false. It will return either true or false. When I pass one argument, let's say I is representing one number. When I pass a number, and this will return either true or false. If the number is greater than 10, which will return true. If the number is greater than not greater than 10, it will return false. So here I have created one lambda expression. So this predicate interface we have to import from java.util.function. So this is the actual package which contains a predicate interface. Now this is a lambda expression I have written by using predicate. This is a predefined functional interface. So once you written this lambda expression by using a predicate, so here predicate interface, and this is a reference variable. P is a reference variable and I is an argument. So normally when I write a lambda expression, in the previous video I have talked about, so data type is optional, right? Data type is not yet required, because at the runtime it will automatically get the context of argument variable. So I is just a variable, argument variable or parameter. If it is a single parameter or single variable, you no need to specify the parenthesis also. So this is a most considered way of writing the lambda expression, right? So what this expression will do is, when I pass single argument, which is I, which will return true or false, a boolean value will be written. If the I is greater than 10, returns true. If I is not greater than 10, returns false. Okay. Now I want to call this lambda expression. I want to invoke this lambda expression by passing different values. So as I said, to invoke the lambda expression, at least we need one functional interface. So predicate is a functional interface. And as I said, which contains one single method called test method, right? So take this predicate reference variable and call the test method. So when I call the test method here, which is accepting one integer value, so I'm passing one number. I'll say I'll pass, let's say 20 I'm passing. And what this will return, so when I say p.test20, the 20 will be passing as an argument, and it will check 20 is greater than 10. If it is a true, returns true. So as soon as I'm passing the argument, I'm just printing the value system.out.println p.test20. So I created one lambda expression, and I'm invoking this lambda expression by calling the test method by the reference of predicate interface. So P is a reference of predicate interface, and which contains a test method, and we have written our own lambda expression which will take a value. If the value is greater than 10, will returns true. As I said, predicate will be preferred if you have conditional check. Only if you have a conditional check, then we need to go for predicate interface. So the predicate interface contains a test method which will take only one argument as one argument as a parameter, one value as a parameter, which will return only boolean value, one single boolean value, which is either true or false. Now when I call the test method by passing the value here, which will return either true or false. Now when I run this code as a Java application, now it is returning as a true. Perfectly fine. Now I'll call the same lambda expression by passing a different number. This time I passing, let's say 5. So when I pass 5, 5 is not greater than 10. This should return false. This should return false. Right? So now this should return false. So this is how we can write a lambda expression. We can invoke them by using a test method from the predicate interface. So predicate interface can be as a choice if you have a conditional checks in your program, right? Now I want to verify one more thing. So this is an example one. Let us say this is a example one. I'll show you one more example. Let's say example 2. So in this example, what is my requirement is I want to check the length of given string which is greater than 4 or not. So I will pass one parameter as a string parameter, and our lambda expression should return either true or false. If the string length is greater than 4, our lambda expression method will should return true. If the length is not greater than 4, then our lambda expression it should return false. Now let us see how we can write the lambda expression for this. Again, I'm using the same kind of lambda expression. So what I have to do is, this time I need to pass the string as a parameter, so the type will be string. So I'm using predicate, because here also we are doing the conditional check. When I pass a string as a parameter, our lambda expression should return with the the string length, the length of a string is greater than 4 or not. That means a true or false. So I'm just creating the string type of predicator. So string, and let's create one more variable. We already used p here, reference variable. So I'm just creating one more reference variable called pr. And this time I have to pass a string as an argument into the lambda expression. So I'm writing a lambda expression. Now let's take one argument called s. S is my argument. Lambda expression. Now what it should return? It should first validate the length of a string. If the length of a string greater than 4, then it should return true. So how to validate the length of a string? By using string method. We have a length method which will validate length of a string. So once we validated length of a string, if it is greater than 4, I'm also putting one condition here and keep everything in the bracket. Now what I have done here is I'm passing one string argument as string as a parameter or argument, and s dot length will return the length of a string if greater than 4. If the length is greater than 4, this particular expression will return true. Okay, it will return true. So this is a lambda expression I have written. Now let us invoke this lambda expression by passing different type of arguments. Now I'll say pr is my reference variable dot test is a method only. So as I said, predicate is an interface which contains only one abstract method, test, by which we can invoke the lambda expression. Now I'm trying to invoke this lambda expression by using the test method by passing different inputs. So let us say pr.test, and here I'm passing one string. I'll say welcome. So pr is a reference variable, test method dot welcome. So this particular method will invoke this lambda expression, and this is a value which is passing as argument. Then it will find length of a string. If it is greater than 4, returns true. If it is not greater than 4, return false. So basically this will return either true or false. So let me just write system.out.println. I can say pr.test of welcome. Okay, this is how we can invoke the lambda expression. So when I run this code, which will give you perfectly, so true. So that means the length of a string is greater than 2. So it's a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actual length of a string is 6, but a condition is greater than 4. So which is returning true. Suppose let me give one more variable. Let's say xyz I'm giving. So when I say xyz, the lambda expression will return false. Okay, this is a false. So this is how we can just write our own lambda expression, and we can pass different parameters, and this particular lambda expression is returning either true or false. So the predicate is an interface which contains only one abstract method, which is a test abstract method. When it will take always single parameter. Here we cannot pass multiple arguments. So single argument it will take, and it will return a Boolean value. Remember guys, okay, this is the one important thing which you have to remember. So always we have to use a predicate. We always take one parameter or one argument and returns always a Boolean value. So when you have to use this, we have to use only if you have conditional checks in your program. Okay, conditional checks in your program. We'll see more examples, then you can understand this. Okay, so predicate can be used only if you have one parameter need to pass and return value should be Boolean. So whenever you have a conditional checks, then only we have to prefer this particular approach. So here I created one lambda expression. I'm passing one string value, and which is returning either true or false. That means it is verifying the length of a string is greater than 4. If it is greater than 4, returning true. If it is not greater than 4, it is returning false. Now I want to use this lambda expression with the different values. So here what I have done, every time passing the new value. Suppose I have some array or some collection which contains a many values or which contains a many number of strings. Then I want to use this lambda expression or I want to use this predicate with multiple values. Okay, so then how we can do that? So let me show you one more example. Example 3. So in this example 2, I'm just written the same lambda expression, and this lambda expression is invoked by passing different values different times. So I'm going to use same lambda expression to verify length of a strings which are present in array. So let me just create one string array. So I'll say string. So here what is my requirement is, my requirement is print array elements whose size is greater than 4. Okay, so I want to create one array. Let's say string names I'm taking, string names array I'm taking, and here I'll maintain some names. Let us say David, he's a one guy, and I'll create one more name. Let's say Scott, and then I'll say Smith, and then say John, and also I'm creating one more variable called, I'll say Mary. So now I have different string values or different names in this string array. Now what is my requirement is, I want to read each individual value from this array and verify that length of that particular name is greater than 4 or not. If the length of this name is greater than 4, then I want to print that name. I want to print that name. So that is my requirement. So here we already created one lambda expression which will find length of a string. If the greater than 4, if the length of a string is greater than 4, it is returning true. If the length of the string is not greater than 4, which is returning false. So I'm using the same lambda expression to check the array elements or names of the these names are greater than 4 or not. So if the any name is greater than 4, length of the name is greater than 4, I want to print the name also. Okay. Now let us see how we can use this lambda expression, predicate lambda expression inside the loop statement. So first of all, let us read each and every value from this array. So for that, I am writing enhanced for loop, and here I can say I'll rate names, which is basically an array. I am reading each and every value from this array and storing it into some variable. Let's say string name I'm creating. So this is a string name variable I'm creating, string name colon names. So from this array, it will read each and every individual value, store that value in this variable name. First time David will be stored. Second round Scott will be stored. Next round Smith. Next round John. Next many. So it will go like this. So as soon as I get this name here, I want to check this name length is greater than 4 or not. If greater than 4, then I will print the name, or else I will go to next name. So here I'll use this lambda expression. Okay, predicate lambda expression. How we can use it? Simply if, because this predicate lambda expression always return a boolean value. So if pr.test, whatever name I'm getting here from the array I'm passing it, then what I should do here is, if this particular thing is written true, what does it mean? So when I say test.name, the lambda expression will be invoked and the name will be passed in this variable, and find the length. If it is greater than 4, returns true or false. So if it is returns true, that means the name is greater than 4. The length of a name is greater than 4. So just I'm printing the value. I'll say system.out.println. I'll just print name here. Okay. So this is how we can invoke this lambda expression inside the loop. So for multiple values also. So this enhanced for loop will read each individual value in every round of execution, and we are passing this value into this test method. So immediately lambda expression will be invoked and verify it and return a boolean value, either true or false, and then you can print this value here, right? So here I'm passing the values independently. So first I'm passing welcome, second time I'm passing xyz. I'm invoking the same lambda expression. But this time what I have done is, I created multiple values into string array. I'm trying to use lambda expression to verify the length of the names are greater than 4. And I'm using lambda expression for multiple values. Okay. Now let us try to run as a Java application. So now we got only 3 names. So that means only the 3 names are having greater than 4. So if I take David, totally how many characters we have? The length of a string is 3, 4, 5. So which is getting. So Scott also more than 5, and we got Smith also, and John and Mary is having only 4 characters. The length of a strings are only 4, so we haven't get those values. Okay, so this is how we can write our lambda expression by using a predicate, and we can call the predicate method by checking the values, individual values and multiple values. So we can invoke the lambda expression multiple times inside the loop also to verify the length of a strings or greater than 4. I'm just printing that value. Okay, so this is how we can use lambda expressions. So you may ask one question here. So instead of calling this lambda expression, we can directly use here, say name dot length, right? Instead of writing this loop like this, we can also write like this. So for example, let me just comment this code. You can directly say, instead of using this lambda expression predicate node, what I can do is directly I can take this name. I'll say name dot, I can say name dot length. So we can use the length method directly, right? So it's a name dot length which is greater than 4. So this will also give the same output. So when I run this, which will also give the same output. So 4 elements we got. But what is an advantage when I use lambda expression here? So here actually you are checking only one condition, right? So if I'm taking this value, you are just checking the length is greater than 4 or not. So I'm printing this value. So sometimes you may verify multiple conditions. Suppose here I have only one length, but sometimes you have to check multiple conditions. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to use AND operator, and you can keep on adding more number of conditions here. Let us say I have 10 conditions I want to verify here. I want to verify 10 conditions. So these 10 conditions you have to specify in the if condition, and these 10 conditions will be always verified for each iteration. So for each name, all 10 conditions will be verified here. But when you create a lambda expression, the advantage is inside the lambda expression, we can also write multiple conditions. Here we have only one condition. Sometimes you may have multiple conditions. So we can include all the conditions in one lambda expression. And if I just invoke lambda expression one time, it will verify all the conditions. And you don't need to verify all the conditions in each and every iteration. Just call the lambda expression by passing the value, and how many conditions we specified here, all conditions will be verified. Okay, we will see in the next example how we can specify multiple conditions. So this is the main advantage of using lambda expression instead of traditional approach. Okay, so let me just comment this. All right, so we have seen how to create a predicate lambda statement, or how we can create a lambda statement by using a predicate function interface, and we are able to invoke them by using a test method, right? So now I'll show you a few more examples to understand better. Okay, so what I can do is I can just enable this. Okay, now we'll see a few more examples, right? How we can use lambda expressions. So it is giving an error. Why this bracket is required? This is a for loop. I think one more bracket we missed. Okay, now let's create one more example. Let's take another class. I'll say demo2. Take this main method and finish. Okay, so same predicate I'm using to create a lambda expression, and I'll invoke the lambda expression by using a test method. So here in the previous example, we have just seen like primitive values. I have passed some number, or I pass some number I found which is greater than or not, and I pass some strings, and then I'll found length of a string is greater than 4 or not. So sometimes if we have an objects, then how we can use this lambda expression, how we can create a lambda expressions for objects. Okay, so we'll see one example here. I'll create one new class here. Let us say a class, let us assume I have an employee class. I have an employee class. So an employee class, I will define 3 variables. I'll create one string variable called ename, and I'll create one int variable which will store salary of the employee. Then I'll create one more variable which will store experience of the employee. I'll say int experience. Okay, so I'll create 3 different variables. String is a name, salary, and experience. And to initialize these 3 values, I will also create one constructor in this. I'll say employee. This is a constructor, default constructor I'm creating, which will take 3 arguments and assign the arguments into this variable, instance variable. So this constructor I'm creating to initialize the values into variables. I'll take a string, name is one argument, int sal is another argument, int experience is another argument. And because I need to assign 3 different values, I'm just defining the 3 different variables. Now this name I want to assign into the ename, salary I want to assign into the salary, experience I want to assign into the experience. So let me write the expression. So ename equal to name, ename equal to name, then salary equal to sal, then experience, this is the variable I'm taking, experience equal to exp. Okay, now I have created one constructor within the class which will assign the data into the variables. Now what I will do is, inside our main method I'll create one employee object. For this employee object I'll create one employee class, I'll create one object. So object means which contains the variables and methods. So for employee class I'm creating one object called, let's call it as an employee, emp reference variable, and I'll say new employee. So I'll say new employee. So I'm just creating one object of employee class. So when I creating object of employee class, which is accepting, which is expecting 3 parameters. So which we need to pass here itself, because as soon as I create an object, constructor will be automatically invoked. So which is expecting 3 arguments here. So I'm passing one string argument. Let us create one thing called John, and I will pass the salary. I'll say 50,000. Then I'll pass experience, let's say 5 years. Okay, now I'm passing 3 parameters. So I have one object now for employee class. So here my requirement is, my Lambda expression should take the emp object as a one argument. So this time we are passing an object as an argument or parameter. So our Lambda expression, to take the Lambda function, we can take one argument, that is object, as a parameter, and internally which will check the employee salary is greater than 50,000 or not, and also experience is also greater than 3 or not. If the salary is greater than 30,000 and the experience is greater than 3, then I want to print the name of the employee. So basically what Lambda expression should do is, Lambda expression will take emp object as a parameter, and what should return? It should return the name of the employee. It should return the name of the employee. When it should return name of the employee? If salary is greater than 50k and experience also greater than 3 years. That is my condition. So I want to write a Lambda expression where I want to pass employee object as an argument. Then our Lambda expression or Lambda function should return the name of the employee if the employee salary is greater than 50k and experience greater than 30. So this is my condition. So based on this, I want to create one Lambda expression. Now let us create one Lambda expression. Then I will pass this object to that Lambda expression. Okay. Now, so this is my condition, guys. So based on this, let's create our Lambda expression. So when I create a Lambda expression here, we should use functional interface called predicate. So I'll say predicate, and what I'm passing as an object here, I'm passing an object. What type of object I'm passing into this predicate? Employee type of object. So type is accepting employee. Reference variable, I'm saying PR, predicate reference variable ER. Now here import this predicate from java.util.function. Okay, now observe this carefully. So we need to write one Lambda expression which will take employee object as an argument. So let us create one argument called E, which is representing some parameter object, and Lambda expression. And here we have to validate something. What we have to validate? 2 validations we have. One is, from this employee argument, we have to capture the salary, which should be greater than 30k, or which should be greater than 30k. Let us say 30k. Okay, because the maximum 50,000 here. So the salary should greater than 30k and experience also should greater than 3. If both the conditions are matching, then the returns either true, or if one of the conditions are not matching, return false. Okay, so because the predicate interface, the test method always take the only one argument, return a Boolean value, either true or false. So after verifying the conditions, if both are true, I will return true. If one of them is false, I will return false. Okay, so here we have to write one expression. Observe this carefully. In the bracket, I'll say one expression. So I'm passing an employee object which as an argument here. Then from this object, I'm extracting the salary value which should be greater than 30,000 and end operator. And from the same object, I am getting the experience value which should be greater than 3. This is my expectation, and then semicolon. This is a lambda expression I have written. So if I just look at this lambda expression, which is exactly satisfying this condition, I should pass employee object as a argument. So I'm passing one variable. So which is can be object also, which can be a normal integer or float, whatever data type, which can also be an object. When I pass this object, from that object, I'm extracting salary. I'm verifying which is greater than 30,000 or not. And from the same object, I'm extracting experience value and I'm checking greater than 3 or not. If both the conditions are matched, then the whole expression will return true, because the predicate test method always returns a boolean value which is returning true. If one of them is not matched or not satisfied, then it will return false. Okay, now this is a lambda expression which we have written by using predicate. So here conditional checks are there. So you have to remember, whenever I'm writing lambda expressions, the mainly I'm focused on conditional checks, because a predicate will be a choice whenever you have a conditional checks. And if that particular method or lambda function will return only boolean value, the single boolean value. If you want to return multiple values, then we can go for other like function or something else. But here predicate is an interface which contains a test method which will take only one argument and one boolean value will be returned. Okay, now I invoke this particular lambda expression by passing the some value. So which value you have to pass to the lambda expression now? We have to pass employee class object, right? So what I have to pass is pr dot reference variable dot test method. We have to always call test method, and in the test method we have to pass the object. So we already create an employee object reference emp. I'm passing it here, right? So what this will return now, I'm invoking the lambda expression by using test method, and the test method is taking one object as argument, and from the emp assigned to the e. So from the object, emp object capture the salary. If greater than 30,000 and experience greater than 3, it returns true or else false. Now if I just pass emp object, in the emp object, what are the values we have? 50,000 and 5. So 50,000 is greater than 30,000. So first condition is true. Now what about the second condition? 5 is also greater than 3. The second condition is also true. So from this object, I'm just taking only two values, salary and experience. So I'm comparing this, and as per our expectation, this should returns true. Now when I run system.out.println, so when I run this code, which will print exactly true, because both the conditions are satisfied. From the employee object, whatever values I'm passing, 50,000 and 5 are satisfying these two values, so it is returning true. Suppose when I pass something called 20,000 and I'm saying 5, or I can say 2. Now what happens? The first condition will not match, or second condition also will not match. End operator will return true only if both are matching. In all other cases, it will return false. So this time when I run this code, which will return false. Okay, so this is how we can write a lambda expression which can also validate something on the object and return a boolean value, returns a boolean value. Okay, so now what is my requirement is, here I have only one object and I'm passing that object into lambda expression, and which is validating the fields like experience, salary and experience, and then return boolean value, right? But my requirement here is I want to validate the salary and experience for multiple employee objects. Okay, so now I'll create a set of employee objects. For all employee objects, I want to verify these conditions. And if the conditions are satisfied, then I want to print the name of the employee. So if the conditions are satisfied, which will just return the true or false. Okay, and along with that, I want to print the name of the employee. And I want to apply this particular expression or lambda expression for multiple employee objects. So currently I have created lambda expression. I'm invoked this by passing only one employee object. I just created one object and passed it and we got the true or false. But now I want to use this Lambda expression for multiple employee objects. Now we'll see one more example. So let us consider this is example 1. Now here itself I'll show you one more example 2. Example 2. So here what is my expectation, what is my requirement is I want to store multiple employee objects in some array list. Then I want to apply this Lambda expression for each object in the array list, each employee object. So let us create an employee array list. So I'm just creating one array list. So array list AL equal to a new array list I'm creating, new array list I created. Okay, now observe this. Now importing this array list, and we should import this array list from the java.collections. Array list, we have to import java.util package. Okay, new array list, new array list. So now I created one array list. So what we should store in this array list? We have to store employee objects. So here this is one object. Similarly, I will create multiple employee objects. I will create all employee objects in this array list. Now, what is the type of each object? Employee type, because all objects are derived from this class. So when I want to store multiple objects in the array list, we have to also specify what is the type of object. So type of object is employee. So that I am just specifying here. Employee is a type of object, and the same thing you have to specify here also. Now I can store all employee objects in this array list. Now let us try to add multiple objects. So first object I'm adding. So I'm not directly creating the reference variable. Directly I'm passing the object like this. Here this is a reference variable of the object, but actual object is this one. This is called actual object. So I'm just passing this one, and let us pass some value John. I'll say 50,000, and I'm passing 5 years of experience. So this is the first object I created. Similarly, let us add multiple objects into array list. So here I'll say David, and let's say 20,000 is a salary, and years of experience I'll say 2. And the next object I'll say Scott is an employee name, and I'll say 30,000 is a salary and 3 years of experience. Similarly, I'll create a few more elements or few more objects I'm adding to the array list. So let us take 40,000 and experience is 6. Okay, so totally 3 objects I have added into the array list. Now my requirement is I want to apply this Lambda expression each and every object in this array list. So previously what I have done, we have created Lambda expression. We have invoked this Lambda expression by calling the test method, and also we pass only single object there, and it is returning true or false. Now I want to verify this condition for each employee object. That means previously we have tested only with one employee object. This time I'm going to test this Lambda function or Lambda expression with multiple objects, multiple employee class objects. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'll pass this object as an argument into the Lambda expression, and what this will return, it will return true or false. So when this will return true, if these conditions are matching, then it returns true. If the conditions are not matching, return false. So whenever the conditions are true, it will return true, and based on that value, I will also try to print name of the employee. Okay, I will also print the name of the employee if the conditions are satisfied. If the Lambda expression is returns true, accordingly I will take the name of the employee, and also I will print the name of the employee in my console window. Now observe this. Let me write one enhanced for loop which will read each and every object into a variable. So let me write one enhanced for loop here. Okay, so array list name is AL is my array list. So say AL, and from this array list I want to get each and every object one after another. So that particular object I want to store in a variable. Let's create one variable called E. And what type of this variable should be? This variable should be again employee type, because it should able to hold the employee object. So when I store the employee object in the variable type is also employee, same class object. Okay, so now from this particular object, E is representing the object now, and I will pass this object into this Lambda expression. and which will return either true or false based on the condition. So now I'll use one if condition. I'll say if in this condition I'm calling the lambda expression which is already written here. So the PR I'm using PR dot test. Test is a method we have, right, in the predicate. So test, and inside this I'll pass one object. So I'm passing E object, whatever object, employee object I'm getting here, I'm passing it as an argument. Lambda expression, you already, everything is part of the lambda expression. Only thing is we have to pass an object. So when I pass this object into the test method, the lambda expression will invoke and verify this particular object. Salary is 30,000, greater than 30,000. Also experience is greater than 3. If both the conditions are matching, then it will return true or false. If this returning is true, then if condition will satisfy or match, then here I will print system.out.println from the same object E. I am directly print the name of the salary, okay, E name of the salary, and also I am printing the salary of the salary, E dot salary of the employee. Both name and salary also I'm printing. If you want, you can also print the experience, no problem. Okay, so when I'm printing this, if this condition is true, when this condition become true, if the lambda expression or lambda function will returns true, then this condition becomes true. When the lambda expression will returns true, if the both the conditions are satisfied, then lambda expression or lambda function will returns true. Okay, so this is how we can pass each and every object into this variable, and the same object I am sending into the lambda expression or lambda function. The lambda function will returns true if both conditions are matching, and if it is a true, I am printing the name of the employee and also salary of the employee. If the condition is not matching, means it returns false. That means we are not printing the name of the employee and salary. So this is how we can pass each and every object as an argument into lambda expression, and we can verify the condition check. So lambda expression like predicate interface we can use only when you validating the conditional checks. Okay, now let us try to execute this. When I run this, so this will print the first option, first object. So let me just comment this statement for now. Right, so let's run this code. Now observe this, we got only two values. Now let us check why we got only two values. So first, if I say the first combination, what is the condition should be there? Salary 30,000, greater than 30,000. So greater than 30, if I take the John, the salary is greater than 30,000, perfectly fine. And the experience is also greater than 3. So this one is matched. So John is printed. Now come to the David. In the David, salary is not greater than 30,000, so it is skipped. Then Scott. So this, his salary is greater than 30,000. No, this is also not matched. So here given same name, no problem. So again, this will verify. Is the salary is greater than 30,000? No. So Scott is printed here. So 40,000 is greater than 30,000. So this is not matched. This Scott is not matched, but this Scott is matched because here salary is not greater than 30,000, but here salary is greater than 30,000, and also experience also greater than 3. So this is matched. The fourth object is matched. So which is getting Scott and 40,000. Okay. So when I run this again, so let me just change this name. I'll say Mary. Let's execute. Now we got the Mary instead of Scott. So these are the only two objects are matching this condition, right? So in this example, what exactly we have done is we have called this angular expression or lambda expression or lambda function multiple times for each object in the array list. And instead of array list, you can take any collection, no problem at all. You can take like a list, or you can take set, or whatever collection you want, you can take. Basically the collection means which can contain some multiple objects or multiple elements, and then you can invoke the lambda expression or lambda function multiple times. Okay, so this is how we have to do this. Suppose instead of doing this, like instead of calling this lambda expression, so once we get this object, we can directly write this condition here also, right? So take this condition. Why can't we write directly like this? Suppose instead of writing this if condition like this, I can also write like this, right? If E dot salary greater than 30,000, right? If E dot salary greater than 30,000, and this one. So I can also write if condition like this. Directly I get the salary and experience from this object. I can condition verify, directly print this. So why we need to go for again lambda expression? The reason is here I have again only two conditions. So in every object you are getting into this, you have to verify these two conditions. And sometimes you may have 10 conditions, 20 conditions, more than 2-3 conditions, right? In this case, what I have to do, we have to put all the conditions here. And also for each and every iteration, for every object, all the conditions will be verified. So instead of doing this, if I put all the conditions, if I write the lambda expression in single statement, you can just call only lambda expression every time. So because lambda expression, we can put any number of conditions like this. So you don't need to write all the conditions every time here. Just write all the conditions in lambda expression and call the lambda expression by passing the data like this. Okay, so this is a main advantage of lambda expression instead of using traditional approach, right? So in this example, we have seen how to pass an object as an argument into lambda expression or lambda function, and we got the return value as a boolean. So it is validated something or check something and it returns a boolean value as an output. Okay, it is also here also it is taking one parameter, one single parameter, and also which is returning a boolean value. And we used this lambda expression for conditional checks, and especially when you do the conditional checks, we have to use predicate functional interface. Okay, so sometimes, so here sometimes we can also combine or we can also join multiple we can also join multiple predicates. So here I have written one predicate for one condition. I can write one more predicate for one more condition. I can join them. Okay, so I'll show you how we can join multiple predicates. That means how we can join multiple lambda expressions. So let us go with one more example, how to join multiple predicates, and each predicate is having one lambda expression. So let me just create one class, and here I'll say demo3, take this main method, I'll say finish. Okay, so this time what I'm going to do is here I'll write one my requirement. So I want to join two predicates. I want to join two predicates, and to join the predicates we have certain methods and or negate. So these are the three different methods are available to join the predicates. Okay, let's say P1 and P2 are the two predicates. Let's say P1 is one predicate, P2 is another predicate which contains two lambda expressions. So when I say P1 and P2, when I use AND operate between these two, so first predicate and second predicate, first should return true, second also should return true. Only the combined predicate will return true. That is AND operator. In all other cases, it return false. So when I say OR, P1 and P2, one of them should return true. At least one of them should return true. Rest of the times, it will fail. At least one, either P1 should be true, either P2 should be true. Then finally it will return true. In all other cases, it will return false. It is just like an OR operator. Now the negate, suppose P1 is returns true, and the negate of P1 should be false. Similarly, P2. If P2 is returning false or P2 is returning true, the negate of P2 will be the false. So this is a negation. So AND or not called as a methods, and by which we can join the multiple predicates. Now let us see one example here. So what is my requirement is I will one predicate I will create in the one predicate I will create a one lambda expression which will checks number is even. Okay, when I pass a number to the predicate one or lambda expression one, I will pass one number, and that will return true if the number is even, and it should return false if the number is not even. Okay, that's a one expression I will put. In the second predicate, I'll check the number is greater than 50 or not. Checks greater than or not. Okay, so I'll checks greater than 50 or not. So this is another thing. Okay, so it checks greater than the 50 or not. So when I pass a value into the first predicate, which will return true if it is an even, and if it is return false if it is not even. Similarly, I'll create one more predicate. When I pass a value into this predicate, which should give true if it is greater than 50, and if it is not greater than 50, it should return false. So these are the two predicates I will write with two lambda expressions. Okay, let us see this. So this is my requirement. So here, let us create two predicates and then I'll show you how to join them. First of all, I will create one integer array and here I will maintain multiple values. So let's give different values. I'll say 15 and 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, then 40 and 45, then 50, 55 and then finally say 60 and 65. So totally how many values I have in this array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 values we have. So this is basically an integer array created. A is a array variable. Now the first requirement, I'll create one predicate here which will validate the number is even or not in this list. Okay, I will create one predicate which should validate the number is even or not. So let me just create one predicate with lambda expression. How to create? So predicate interface, and what is the type I have to specify here? Because all are integers, so I should say integer. So integer class. So the predicate we should input, and let's create p1 is a reference variable equal to, here we have to write a lambda expression. So this particular predicate, let me just import the java.util.function, and this particular p1, right? So here how I am writing predicate by using lambda expression is, I will pass one value into this, let's say I, which is representing the argument, lambda expression, and what we have to verify in the lambda expression, whatever value or argument we are passing, if it is greater than 40 or if it is even or not. So let us first check the even. First we will check the greater than or not. So you can check anything. Let's say p1 I'm writing. So check number is even or not. How will verify number is even or not? So when I pass an argument, right, we have to divide this argument value with 2, and if it is returns 0, that is a even number. Okay, this is the lambda expression I have written. I is an argument I'm passing. If that value or I percentage 2 is an expression, if this returns true, if it is returns 0, right, what does it mean is that is an even number. So what does it mean is, if this lambda expression is returns true, that means a number is an even number. If this lambda expression is returns false, then that is a odd number. Because this is a predicate node, so it is a predicate. We have used predicate so that the test method will return either true or false. Okay, this is a lambda expression I have written to verify the number is even or not for p1. Now I'll create one more predicate. So I'll say one more predicate I'm writing, and let's call it as a p2. And what is the lambda expression I have to write here? When I pass a number, which should check the number is greater than 50 or not. If it is a greater than 50, then returns true or else return false. Now let me write, I'll pass value called I, and the lambda expression, what should return? It should return true or false. And what is the condition check here? I greater than 50. I greater than 50. Then it will return then it will return boolean value. If the value is greater than 50, then returns true. If value is not greater than 50, return false. So these are the two predicates I have written, lambda expressions, p1 and p2. Now my requirement is, I want to read each and every value from this array. Then I will check that value is even or not, that value is greater than 50 or not. If both the conditions are matching, then I want to print that number in my console window. Okay, so I want to repeat these two lambda expressions or these two predicates for each value in this array. Each value in this array. Okay, so how we can do that? So let me just see first. Okay, so the first thing here, my requirement is, I want to print each and every element if that element or value is even number. That means first condition should check, and that number also should greater than 50. Both conditions should match. So which operator I have to use? AND operator I want to use. So let me just write the code how we can use it. So here I'm just writing, I'm just printing. So following numbers, I'm just printing. Okay, let me write the description later. So now let me show you how we can use this AND operator. First of all, let us read each and every value from this array. So I'm writing one enhanced for loop, to get values from this array. So the array name is A. I'm getting each and every value into some variable called n. Okay, now from this A, each and every value will be stored into n in each round, like 5, 15, 20, 25, like this. So once I got this value into the n, now immediately what I have to do is I'll pass this n value into P1. Then what this will return? It will check even or not. If I pass this n value into P2, then which will return the number is greater than 50 or not, which will return true if the number is greater than 50. But I want to verify both, not only a single one. I want to verify both. Then what I have to do here is I can write a statement like this. If P1 is my lambda expression. So P1 is a predicate. P1, okay, dot test. I can pass this number. So which will give either true or false. If it is an even number, returns true. If it is odd number, return false. And P2 dot test. Here also I need to pass n. So now what happens? We are calling the first lambda expression. If it is a real even number, which will return true or false. And I'm calling the second lambda expression, which will check this particular number is greater than 50 or not. If both are satisfied, then only I will print that value. I'll say system.out.println. I can print the value of n. So this is how we can write the expression. So if you have a two lambda expression, two predicates, first I will pass this value in the first predicate, then get the return value, either true or false, and again AND operator I am using, and second predicate. So this is a normal way we can write, but we can simplify this by using AND operator. So here we still not use AND operator. We have just used some logical operator. I'm calling these two predicates separately. But in shortcut, what we can write is, we can also write the same expression like this, guys. Let me write it. So instead of calling two predicates one after another, instead of passing this n value 2 times, what I will do is I'll say first P1 and P2 dot test method and pass n value here. So this is how we need to join or combine two predicates. So P1 dot end of P2, so which is combined. So this is a combined predicate. Dot, I'm calling one test method and passing this value. So when I say P1 dot end P2, this is combined two predicates. Then I'm calling test method only once. So I'm also passing the value only once. So this will also do the same thing whatever this expression is doing. So this is the actual way we have to use AND operator with the predicates. So this is actually, we say, joining of predicates. Okay, if both are true, then only it will print the number, or else will not print the number. Okay, so here we are just printing the numbers, and if the number should be even and number should also greater than 50. So here I'm writing a simple message, system.out.println following our numbers even and greater than, they are all even numbers, and also greater than 50. Now let us execute and see how it is going to work. So let us run as a Java application. Okay, now we can just look at here. So we got only one value. What is that value? We got only 60 we got. So if I just look at this, why we got only 60 means there is only one value which is satisfying these two conditions. So let us see how it is. So first condition is even number and greater than should 50. Okay, both the conditions are satisfied. And if I just take the rest of the numbers, all are less than 60. So these numbers are gone because of second condition. And what is the rest of the numbers we have? Only these numbers are already gone. That means one condition is got failed. So AND operator means both the conditions are satisfied. Even though we found some even number here, even though this condition is matched with multiple numbers, but still those numbers are not greater than 50. So not greater than 50. So after greater than 50, there is only 60, 65. Among these two, only 60 is only the even number we have. So that's the reason we got only 60.
So rest of all numbers, the second condition is not matched, so it is eliminated. So we rest of two numbers, one is even number, we have only one, so that is satisfied, so it is returning 60 here. So this is a way we can combine multiple predicates into one. We can join the predicates by using AND method. So this is the actual way we can do. So whatever value we are getting from this array, we are passing that value into these predicates or two lambda expressions we are validating. Then finally we are writing the value here. Okay, so this is how we can get all the values. Okay, so now let me show you one more thing here. So we use AND operator. Now similarly we can also use OR operators. OR means either this should be true or this should be true. Or means either one of the conditions should be true. Either one of the expressions should return to at least one. So then only the whole condition will becomes true and then returns the values. And both are returns false, then final condition will be return false. Okay, now let me show you how we can use OR operator. Okay, how we can use OR operator. So here I just want to print something. I want to print something like OR operator. So let me just use the same enhanced loop. Now observe this, instead of AND I'm using OR operator. Instead of AND I'm using OR operator. And I will also comment this. Okay, now when I run this, what is an output you will get? So I'm saying AND operator, OR operator. OR means either P1 or P2, one of them should be true, both no need to be true. Okay, so let us run and see the output. Run as Java application. Now we got these values. So now we got these values 20 to 65. Now why we got these values? Let us analyze the result. So OR operator means either first one and second one should match. So when I say 5, second is matched. Even though first is not matched, the second is matched. Now just hold on. Something went wrong. Just a second. Let me save it. Here we say P1 dot or P2. I'm passing test number. I'm printing the number. Okay, let us try to execute it one more time. Okay, so we got some values here by using OR operator. So if I just look at here, either the first condition or second condition should be matched, then only we got all the values. If I just look at these all values 20 to 65, right, 20 to 65, all are even numbers. All are even numbers. That means this condition is matched with all these values 20 to 65. So all these values are not all values. If I just look at here, only 20 and then 30, 40, 50, 60. So these are the only even numbers which is exactly returning 0. Okay, and if I just look at I greater than 50, what are the values are greater than 50? Only 3 values are greater than 50, but still it is giving rest of the numbers. So what does this mean is OR operator is returning true if at least this one or this one should be true, at least one should be true. And what are the values of left? Let us look at this. So here, what are the values of left here is when you take these values, let me just check it. So here, these are the values left. These are the total values and it is printed 20. So we can just remove it. Then printed 30, 30 and we can remove this. 40 printed, remove this. 50 is also printed. 55 is also printed, remove this. Next 60 is printed, remove this, and 65 is also printed. So only 3, 4, 5 values are not printed. Because why these values are not printed? Let us see. So when I take a 5, so 5 is greater than 50 or not? 5 is not greater than 50. 5 is not greater than 50. And 5% 2 also not 0. So both the conditions are not satisfied. If I say 5, both the conditions are not satisfied. So that's the reason 5 is not printed here. Similarly, when I take 15, so when I say 15, 15 is not greater than 50. Similarly, 15 divided by 2, it's not written 0. So both the conditions are false. So that's the reason 15 is also not printed. Same thing, if I just look at 3 numbers, 25, 35, 45, for these numbers will not satisfy both the conditions. Both the conditions are not satisfied with these numbers. So that is the reason it is printed rest of the numbers other than these numbers. OR operator means if both are false, which will not print. Both the conditions are false, then it will not print those numbers. At least one condition should be matched. So this is how we can just use OR operator along with the predicates. Now we also have one more thing called negate operator. So negate means the opposite. Okay, now let me just show you quickly how we can use negate method along with the predicate. So let me just copy the same lambda expression. So here we can just invoke only one predicate because negate is an opposite. So what I can do is I'll say I can just check the number is greater than or not. So P2 I'm going to invoke. So I'll say P2 dot test method I'm calling. I'll pass a value called n. So every time I'm passing n value here, I'm passing n value here. When I pass n value, what P2 will return? So which will check greater than 50 or not. It will check 50, that number is greater than or not. Okay, or else what I can do is let us take the first one because which will return even and odd numbers. Okay, odd numbers are reverse of even. So let's take the P1 now, or else let's say P1.test. So I'm passing this value into P1. So what P1 will returns to? P1 will returns to only if the number is divided by 2 equal to 0. If the number is divided by 2 equal to 0, what does that mean? That is an even number. That means it will return true. But if I just run this code like this, it will just print only even numbers, right? But I want to negate them. So I want to print odd numbers. So simply you can call negate method here. I'll say negate dot test. So whatever the test method here returning, it is negating now. So if I run this, we will get only odd numbers here, only odd number from the list. Okay, so this is how we can also use and or negate methods along with the predicates. So we can join the predicates by using and or negate methods. That's the main usage of and or negate. We can join the predicates. Okay, so AND operator will return both lambda expressions or returns true. In all other cases, it returns false. And OR operator will return true if at least one of the predicate is returning true. And negate operator is the opposite of the expression. So whatever the, if I get the true here, negate will return false. If I get the false here, negate will return true. So these are the, this is a way we can use AND or negate to join the predicates or multiple predicates. So what is the use of joining predicate? Because we don't need to check this validation multiple times. You can just put these two expressions in one predicate. That means we can join the predicate and this is possible. Okay, so this is all about predicate. So what we have understood in this session is a predicate is a predefined functional interface which contains a test method which will take only a single argument and which will return a Boolean value. And when we need to use a predicate, if we have a conditional checks in your program, then you want to write a lambda expression for them, then we have to go for predicate. Okay, so remember this. So that's all for this session, guys. So in the next video, we will talk about rest of the things. Thanks for watching.